Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Tuesday the 21st of September 2021. Now, this morning, this was published by news@den.co.uk and it's Jed Wallace. He's ill now. He's ill. Is it the COVID? We don't know. You would imagine that's what it is when someone says someone's ill these days. You jump straight to that. Even if it is or it isn't, I suppose they can't take any chances. But this come up and troubling news ahead of tomorrow's big game against Leicester City. Millwall set to be without Jed Wallace against Leicester City, plus rest of the EFL Cup. Team news: Jed Wallace is out of Millwall's game against Leicester City in the third round of the EFL Cup at the Den on Wednesday. Sean Hutchinson is set to make his third appearance of the season after recovering from a thigh problem. The Lions are without another attacker, Shea Yoja, but hope he will be available to face Nottingham Forest in the Championship next Saturday. Jed's ill, so he's not going to be available for Wednesday night, Lions boss Gary Rowett told News@Den. Hopefully we'll have Shea back, potentially if all goes well this week. That would be a big plus for us. Hutch is fit and available. The plan was always not to risk him against Coventry if we didn't have to. If we needed to, if we'd have another injury at centre-back, Hutch was available to start. But if we felt we could leave him out, that was always the plan. He'll definitely play some part in the game. He won't play all the game. Again, we'll try to be sensible with him, but he's trained really well and I'm sure he'll be raring to go. Danny McNamara, Benik Fobi and George Evans trained out at Den on Tuesday morning. Rowett added, out of those, the medical team are trying to be a little bit careful with Danny because his return date wasn't for another week. But he's come back well and he looks fit, he feels good. We'll see that as a bit of a bonus rather than necessarily involving him tomorrow. Benik will have a chance, George will have a chance. It's nice to get players back. They're not going to be fully fit, but at the same time we're going to have to utilise the game for some of them, giving returning players minutes as well as trying to get a strong performance. So, and indeed, this was this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. So it's the players are training. They trained at the Den this morning. So here we go. We have pictures of them training. There they are. And the club put this out on Twitter this morning, 11:30 AM. You can see there, and it's just telling us basically what we already know about the injuries and that. Let's jump into this, which was put up by the official club website, and here you go. Pictures. These are the pictures from training at the Den this morning. So the under-23 game wasn't at the Den, it was at the training ground. And instead, the Millwall first team were training at the Den ahead of tomorrow's game against Leicester City. And there you can see Danny McNamara there with his back to us. Bodvarsson there. Here's George Long, Danny Ballard, Bodvarsson, George Evans back playing there. Billy Mitchell. There you go. That's Ryan Sanford. Haven't seen him for a long time. I imagine he will be. Will he be on the bench tomorrow, or will they have Bart on the bench? You don't know. You don't know. That's Connor Mahoney there. Sean Hutchinson in the background there. Back in training. There you go. There he is, Sean Hutch. That looks. Is that Benik Fobi there? Looks like Benik Fobi there. He's wearing his watch for training. Flash bastard. You're supposed to leave your watch in the training ground, in your locker in the dressing room. Yeah, so there you go. Back training. Will they be involved tomorrow? Rowett says they will be, but he'll have to balance it out with putting out a team that's capable of winning the game. So that's how the Millwall team is preparing and how we're lining up for tomorrow. And what's happening with Leicester? So this is from the Leicester Mercury.co.uk, and basically they could make as many as 10 changes. There are no rules, basically, in terms of... I think the only rule is they need to play their strongest team, but that rule gets ignored all the time. So they say in goal Danny Ward could be coming in. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go through. I'm just going to go down to the bottom. So this is what they reckon it could be: Ward, Castan, Amati, Soyonku, Thomas Chowdhury, Dewsbury Hall, Albrighton, Iheanacho, Lookman, and Daka. So a lot of changes there for Leicester. That's what they reckon. Should we see what the fans say? Not really. They're not really talking about the team. So yeah. Yeah, big changes for Leicester. Big changes for Leicester. Now, one thing I'll say. Now, the games played on Tuesday. There were 3 games between Championship teams and Premiership teams. Fulham Leeds, QPR Everton, and Sheffield United Southampton. So all 3 of those, the Premier League team was away at the Championship team. All 3 of them went to penalties. Yes, they did. And 2 of them were won. The Leeds game, Leeds won on penalties. They beat Fulham on penalties. And Southampton won on penalties. And in the other game, QPR beat Everton on penalties. Went a long time, like 8-7 on penalties they won. A lot of scored penalties in that game. So that was the 3 games today involving Championship versus Premiership. So there's a very real possibility, especially because we're managed by Gary Drawit. That's his new name now, Gary Drawit, because he just draws games. That we could draw tomorrow's game against Leicester and go to penalties. So be prepared for that if you're going to the game. Make sure your transport home, if you're going by train, is sorted, and you know if you need to get a later train, or if you're going to have to just leave at full time and get your train home and follow the game on your phone. Be prepared for that. Penalty straight away after 90 minutes. So let's look at this. This is from WhoScored.com, and they say, so they give a team lineup, but it bears no reflection to what actually could be happening. Let's have a look at their thing actually. So yeah, they go with this one. Pretty similar to the one we just seen, except for Ndidi, Sumare, and Thomas, I think, are different. So, and they give well, Wallace isn't playing, so they got that one wrong. I think will Phobie start? Probably. Maybe Bradshaw. Bradshaw's played alright in the last 2 games, and you imagine he's going to be dropped for the Nottingham Forest game if a Phobie's fit. So you maybe start with Bradshaw and then bring the Phobie on. That's what I'll do. And Bradshaw's done alright. He was unlucky not to score against in the last game. What was that, Coventry? That was never offside. Mason Bennett's not fully fit apparently. He's carrying a knock as well. Malone. Will Murray and Wallace play out on the so if Hutchinson starts, Ballard starts, does that mean Hutchinson has to go out? That will give a chance to rest Malone if he's carrying a knock. So Murray Wallace to play out on the wing back role. He did alright against Cambridge, but that was Cambridge. Now here's the thing. Leicester, if Leicester make 10 changes, they're not Leicester, they're Leicester reserve, they're Leicester B, and they're going to be pretty disjointed. Now they're still good footballers, but that team dynamic, team effort will be lost, which is probably what happens to us because our team changes all the time. And if we played the same, basically the same team week in, week out, we might actually start winning some games. But it is what it is. So let's scroll down past this nonsense in the middle of the screen. So this is their prediction. You can see it there, but I'm going to read what it says. It says Millwall are unbeaten in their last 5 games, but have drawn each of the last 3. Leicester have made quite a poor start to the season. The Foxes have only won 2 of their opening 6 games and are winless in their last 3. Millwall have actually won 4 of their last 5 home meetings with Leicester, but this is the first encounter since 2017. Leicester are clearly favourites here. Are they really? Oh, they were favourites last time and we still fucking beat them. Okay, so they predict Millwall 0, Leicester 2. Maybe. So let's have a look. So you can see here, these are the last 6 games of Millwall at home versus Leicester. And you can see that cup game, FA Cup 2017. Sean Cummins right at the end, scoring a goal, sending everyone crazy. Probably the most important thing he did as a Millwall player, Sean Cummins, scoring that goal. And I'll show you in a minute what, even though that was only 4 years ago, how much it has changed. 4 years. How much it's changed. So the last 6 games of Mill versus Leicester, we've won 4 of them. They've won the other 2. And there hasn't been any draws. So maybe we're due a draw. Maybe we are. Maybe it will be another game between a championship team and a premiership team going to penalties. And maybe it will be a very good test for George Long. Be a chance for him to step up and cement himself as a hero in his own right. We will see. Yeah, so I want to show you this. Now, the cup games against Leicester. This is quite remarkable and fortuitous. We've played Leicester City 5 times in the cup. That's the FA Cup. We haven't played them in the League Cup yet or any other cups. It's only been the League and the FA Cup. So 5 times in the FA Cup, spanning nearly 90 years. Each and every single one of those 5 times has been at home. We've been at home. And we lost the first 2. 1934, 1969. But then we won the next 3. And I wanted to show you this. This was the last game, February 2017. Only 4 years ago, or coming up to 5 years, basically, it's 4.5 years. That was in February 2017. We're now in September 2021, so coming up to 5 years. Look how many of the Millwall team are still there? None, basically. Jake Cooper's still there. Shane Ferguson's just left. Sean Williams just left. Marlon Romeo's just basically he's here, but he's gone on loan, and he probably won't be coming back. Sean Hutchinson's still here. He was on the bench. So out of the starting 11 from 4.5 years ago, only 2 players are still here for us. Jake Cooper, and look what happened to Jake Cooper last time. 2 yellow cards and he got sent off. 4 years ago, in this game, Jake Cooper got 2 yellow cards and he got himself sent off. And Sean Hutchinson was on the bench. He didn't get on. And Sean Cummins scored at the end as well. And I think if you look at the Leicester team as well, how many of their players are still there? So all Brighton's still there. Jamie Vardy, I think, still there, isn't he? Demarai Gray, did he go? Not a lot there, is there? Only 4 years ago. The churn of players has been incredible, no? But yeah, so Sean Hutchinson, Jake Cooper, surviving members from the last time, and we'll see how it goes. Now we're never going to get anywhere near that attendance, 18,012. I believe it was it on a Sunday. I believe it was on a Sunday, wasn't it? Because I think it was on was it on BBC? Because Juggy was in the thing in the corner, wasn't he? I'm not too sure about that. I remember being there and going absolutely crazy when we scored. So, yeah. So here we go. What's going to happen tomorrow? I'm going to give a prediction. I'm not too sure. Now, what's the team going to be? Now, if he starts with Bradshaw and then brings Phobie on, that would be the logical thing to do, because Bradshaw's probably going to get dropped against Forest, and you want Phobie to be fit. So he's going to have. He said earlier in the quotes that I showed you, he wants to involve those players, but he can't. He needs to put out a team that can win. They can't win. He said I think in yesterday's video, he can't play all of them because they can't all play 90. They can't all play 90 minutes. And he's only got 3 substitutions to make. So read into that what you will. So he has to start with some play. He can only start with 3 players who he thinks won't last 90 minutes. So will Hutchinson play? So if Ballard plays, Cooper plays, Hutchinson plays, will Murray Wallace go on into the wing back role, or will Murray Wallace play and Malone plays as well? If Murray Wallace does start a wing back, then Malone can come off the bench, and then Murray Wallace can move back, and Hutchinson, he can come on for Hutchinson, and Hutchinson can have a little bit of a rest, and Murray Wallace goes back into the back 3. Yeah, but the thing is, who's starting up front? So Wallace isn't playing. So will Smith start? I don't think Smith will start. It'll probably be one up front. Even though we're at home, it's a Premiership team. So will Ben Thompson play? Ben Thompson start? He hasn't been injured. He's just been out of favour, but he's full of beans, full of running. So he's one player that you could start. Would last 90 minutes. I imagine Bradshaw would start. I would start Bradshaw, then bring a Phobie on. Maybe he starts with a Phobie and then brings Smith on for a Phobie. But I can see them playing one up front. Maybe they start with Mason Bennett. They play either Smith, Bradshaw, or a Phobie up front on their own. But if Phobie's come back from injury, do you want him playing up front on his own? He's gonna have a lot of running to do. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe Mason Bennett behind, Connor Mahoney behind, starting Bradshaw, and Mahoney for Wallace. Not too sure. But I would start with Bradshaw, like I said, because if Phobie's back, then you want a Phobie for Forest. So Bradshaw might as well play in this game, and he's done all right in the last 2 games. So whatever momentum he's building up, even though he hasn't really scored, He's been getting chances on target, even though he's been in them straight at the keeper. If he can, he's getting his eye in a little bit. Mate, start him in this game, see what he does. Let's see if he can keep the run going, and maybe go a little bit further and actually get that goal that he's been so close to getting. So if Bradshaw starts, he'll probably be the one up front on his own. Mason Bennett, although he didn't really do much in the game that he played. Ryan Leonard, can Ryan Leonard be moved further upfield now? Can Ryan Leonard play right wing back and then Mitchell can go further upfield? It's a conundrum, isn't it? Who's gonna play? I have no idea, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter who plays, we still draw. And I think it's going to be another draw. And I think we're probably going to lose on penalty kicks. Yeah. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for 1-1. And we lose on penalties. That's what I'm going for. So we'll see how my predictions go on. Before I end this video, I am wanting to bring you this news. So the under-23 game that I told you about, it did take place. It took place at the training ground, and it was an absolute success. Young Lions hit Tykes for 4. I report from Carabao Road. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. It says Millwall under-23s cruised to a 4-0 victory over Barnsley in the Professional Development League on Tuesday afternoon. In a comfortable fixture for Kevin Nugent's side, Seb Drozd, 2, Sean O'Brien, Penn and Tyrese Briscoe found the back of the net as the Lions claimed 3 points. The boss was able to hand a start to Drozd, and the attacker was into the thick of the action from the very beginning, being rewarded with the first goal of the afternoon on 28 minutes for harrying a superb strike beyond Bradley Foster. Prior to that, the Lions had numerous chances to open the scoring, namely from the head of Bisart Topoloj, but the lead was doubled just 4 minutes later as O'Brien thumped a penalty kick in off the crossbar following a foul on Jaden Davis inside the area. It could have been 3 just moments later as Davis's run down the left hand side allowed him to pick out Alfie Allen with an inch perfect cross, but his header just went wide of the post. There were just 4 minutes played in the second half when the third did arrive, as O'Brien's corner looked to be heading straight in. Topoloj was able to poke the ball back across the goal where Drozd was waiting to tap home his second and Millwall's third of the afternoon. Davis's effort and Chinakoli's header, which cracked the crossbar, could have added more to the Lions' tally. However, they didn't have to wait long as Briscoe battled his way through the Barnsley defence to score despite stumbling on 66 minutes. There were further chances for the Lions to add to the final scoreline, but with no further goal-mouth action and a strong defence giving the visitors nothing, the game finished in a 4-0 success. Next up for Millwall's under-23s is a trip to Cardiff City on Monday afternoon. And I believe that is being held in a stadium, which I'm pretty sure you can go to. I'll let you know about that probably on Sunday. And the Millwall team: Gilmore, Walker, Grande, or Ground, Penne, Okoli, Topoloj, Davis, Allen, Briscoe, Sean O'Brien, and Drozd. And the subs were Cotton on 64 minutes for Allen, Adam Malachi on 68 minutes for Briscoe, and Essay on 68 minutes for Drozd. And the subs not used were Hammond and Smith. So there you go, massive win for the under-23s, winning 4-0 against Barnsley. Beautiful. So what does the manager say about that? So what does Kevin Nugent have to say about that? Let's have a look. This is from millwallfc.co.uk, and he says Kevin Nugent was delighted with Millwall under-23's 4-0 Professional Development League victory over Barnsley at Carabao Road on Tuesday. He said, "I was really pleased with that. We've not had the greatest of starts to the season. we've been a bit disjointed with regards to players, but we're getting some bodies back now as well. So I'm really pleased with everything about today, particularly the intensity and the intent to go and win the game. The back three and all the players reached a really good level of performance today. The goal is now to get that consistency. We spoke throughout the week of having a real intent and purpose in how to win games. I feel as though they've took that on board and did it. Drost and Briscoe ran themselves into the ground against the Tykes before being replaced shortly after the fourth goal, and the boss was full of praise for his front men, who shared 3 goals between them. It's been difficult for both of them because they both picked up injuries. I'm pleased they've both managed to get goals. They deserved them. Tyrese put himself about and was our main focal point up front. It was really good to have that platform today. So there you go. Not only is it the first team, it is the under 23s as well. They are riddled with injuries as well. We must have upset somebody. The gypsies on the corner. We got cursed. We have a curse. So there you go. They won 4-0, which is nice. And we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw and we lose on penalties. But I hope it's not. I'm very interested to see the team that gets picked and how they play. It's I'll be there. I'm going to this game. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.